Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Petersen, and the Tennessee Volunteers got some much-needed good news heading into this weekend. And after you lose to Oklahoma, and basically everybody tells you you're out of college football playoff contention, well, here's some things to be excited about. Tennessee got a crystal ball for this four-star defensive lineman. And then additionally, Tennessee, Josh Heupel, Colton Hood, admitting that they made some big changes on defense. I'll tell you what those are. And then last up, this five-star top priority target in the class of 2027 finally clarified when he'll be committing, and hopefully that's to Tennessee. Speaking of Tennessee, that's all we talk right here on the channel, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because we're 61 subs away from our next milestone of 9,200 subscribers. Trying to get to 10K pretty quickly. Again, if y'all have never joined us, do it right now by subscribing, and let's get started with today's video. We're going to start off on the recruiting side of today's video, like I mentioned off the top. Tennessee, from Steve Wiltfong, a very tapped-in college football insider with On3 and Rivals, crystal balled Tennessee to this certain recruit. I'll tell you that recruit is in just a second, but I do have to mention that last night I was scrolling social media, and we saw this tweet from Hayes Fawcett. Orange emoji, hashtag GBO, and this gif of Josh Heupel smoking the cigar in the locker room after that Alabama victory. Now, I don't know if it is the recruit that we're about to talk about or if there's something bigger coming for Tennessee. I do know that Hayes Fawcett and Steve Wiltfong work for the same company. So if it is the same one, great, we know what the news is. And if it's not, expect some more big news coming up pretty quickly. But the crystal ball that Tennessee got was for four-star Kadin Fife, defensive tackle in Summerville, Georgia. 6'5", 295 pounds, 280th national prospect in the 2027 class, 32nd best defensive lineman, and he's having himself a really, really stellar junior season right now for Chattooga High School. 8 games played, 31 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and 6 sacks. Steve Wiltfong with a little bit more on the prospect. Following a visit to College Station in early October, it was the Aggies trending. Now that the decision draws near, I like where the Vols stand. I've moved my Rivals prediction machine forecast to Tennessee to reflect that. And when it comes to these players, no matter if they're in the class of 2026, 2027, 2028, or hell, even 2035, if they're an offensive or defensive lineman, and if they're a 4 or 5 star, I'm going to get juiced up because give me all of the players in the trenches that you could possibly get. Give me all of the blue chip prospects that you could possibly recruit to come to Tennessee. So yeah, he might not be in Knoxville for about another year and some change, but he's a 4-star. He's at the interior of your defensive line. If we know anything about the SEC, games are won and lost in the trenches. And Fife seems to really like things in Knoxville. He says, what Coach Heupel is doing in Tennessee is going to be special. They are for sure a team I could see myself playing for. Now, that commitment is going to be official in just a little while. I believe his exact commitment date is November 21st. But right now, how things stand, Tennessee sits with a 53.8% chance via On3 and Rivals. Texas A&M with a 37.6%, Auburn with a 2.0%, and Georgia Tech less than 1%. Like I said, we should expect his commitment to come down in the next 8 days or so. Next Friday is when he'll be announcing it officially. We'll have a video on that if he does end up coming to Tennessee. But something to keep an eye on because a guy like Steve Wiltfong, who's as tapped into college football as anybody else, has a good chance for Tennessee to land him. He would be the 4th recruit in the Tennessee 2027 recruiting class. Right now, they're ranked 15th with only just 3 recruits landed. Princeton Uwaifo, the 4-star offensive tackle, and then Kamari Whitfield, the 3-star cornerback, and J.P. Peace, the 3-star linebacker. If you want Fife to commit to Tennessee, like the video, hit that thumbs up button. Don't even risk it, okay? You might be wanting to just scroll past and say whatever. Don't risk it. Don't jinx it. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's talk about this current team, this current roster, because we know that the defense has struggled. In fact, that's probably the understatement of the year. And via Colton Hood and Josh Heupel, they've made some changes to some things that they've been doing in the middle of the weeks to help their defense more on Saturdays. Before the Oklahoma game, this is how the defense ranked. Yards before contact, 8th. Rushing yards after contact, 122nd. That tells me tackling is a big issue. More on that because their missed tackle percentage, they rank 122nd. Their average depth of target, 42nd, but their yards after catch, 104th. So the yards before contact and the average depth of target tells me that they're hitting these guys in the backfield and that when these wide receivers are catching the football, it's not that deep yet. They're able to get yards after contact and yards after the catch. And when you see these statistics, again, before that Oklahoma football game, 98 missed tackles, 12.3 missed tackles a game. That means one missed tackle every 6.4 plays. So it was obvious that something had to change. Something had to get fixed. And to me, it was obvious that you saw a couple of fixes during that game against Oklahoma. I felt that was easily this defense's best game they've played yet, and it's because of what they did the week prior and are continuing to do even before New Mexico State. Colton Hood said Coach E.T. made a big emphasis on tackling and getting off blocks this week, so I really saw that translate into the game this week. Trying to stop perimeter screens. We got a big one against Kentucky, so being able to cut those short this week was really big. Josh Heupel went on to say, I think tackling happens in a positive way because of body position. And some of that stems from your alignment and eyes allowing you to get into a good position. There's things that we do during the course of every week. There's some things that we added during that week, being the Oklahoma week, and some things that we did this past week as well. Again, just placing an emphasis on those things, and hopefully you want it to correlate to game day. It did against Oklahoma, but we're going to need that as we go down the stretch. And I couldn't agree more saying that we're going to need that because you still got some good games ahead of you. Florida's still a team that's got guys that's going to play on Sunday. Vandy's a team that's ranked in the top 15 in the college football playoff rankings. But I will say it's good news that there has been such an emphasis put on it. It means that this coaching staff is seeing the exact same things that we're seeing on a daily basis, and the things that we are screaming, this needs to change, they are in lockstep with us, right? And we talked about the Oklahoma game. Think about that first half. Oklahoma got 16 total points, which sounds like a lot until you realize they got a scoop and score and 2 field goals where they got to take advantage of field position because of interceptions. 99 yards only. Only 2 plays of 10 or more yards the entire first 30 minutes. I get it. You lost that game. Defense faded a bit in that second half, but I would argue that's a little bit more of the offense going 3 and out a lot more than they did in the first half. If you could just bring that same juice that you played with against Oklahoma, especially New Mexico State and Florida and Vandy, then you're going to see a lot of improvement yet again. Grade the defense so far this season, A, B, C, D, or F. You let me know in the comment section down below. Weigh in and give me your answer. And if your question is, Joey, where's a great deal? Well, I'll give you an answer right now. chatsports.com/UTQZip. If you like smoky gray, you should, because they're wearing it this weekend against New Mexico State. You can get this pullover for only $30. Guys, think of the state of the financial prices in this country right now. How often are you going to find something for $30? Not very. That is your answer to that question, okay? chatsports.com/UTQZip. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. Made it easy for you. Click on it and check out soon. My last little bit of much-needed good news that Tennessee has gotten is the 5-star running back that we've talked a ton about has clarified his commitment date, which has been up in the air over the last couple of months. Of course, if you've been watching this program for any sort of time, you know I'm talking about running back David Gabriel-Georges, the star, 5 of them to be exact, over at Baylor High School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Number 2 running back in the 2027 class and the number 1 priority for the Volunteers. Heupel went to go see him play football, went to go visit him and a couple of his teammates that are committed to Tennessee in the 2026 class this last Friday on the bye week, so about 8 days or 6 days ago, if I do the math correctly this time. You could see him there with Baylor's head coach. Look how cleanly shaven he looks. He's got the quarter zip on. He knows he's trying to make a great impression. And I think Tennessee has made a great impression on David Gabriel-Georges. He's been in Knoxville twice, visited for the Arkansas game, visited again for the Oklahoma game, and, of course, a lot of people asking, when you committing? Well, he said, I'd like to make my official visits in the spring, and I will make a decision in the summer of 2026. These days, these kids are going to be committing or are committing earlier and earlier. Got to lock down that money, baby. I get what they're doing. The heat will be turned up this offseason. Okay, I can promise you that. Austin Price has said, and we've mentioned it multiple times on this channel, he's priority number 1, 2, and 3 for Tennessee when it comes to 2027. So keep an eye out on him, and hopefully we'll get that commitment in about 7 months from now. We'll wait. Additional news before we get out of here. 5-star edge Jordan Carter is going to be back at Tennessee this week, and he was just in attendance for the Oklahoma game. He's a guy who's still waiting for a home in the class of 2026. You got early signing day happening in less than 3 weeks. This would be a massive, massive late get for the Tennessee Volunteers. That's going to be it for today's show. Make sure you guys got me followed on socials, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/Vols Talk. Appreciate you guys being here as always. This is a show by a Tennessee alum for Tennessee fans, and I just am lucky to do this every single day. So keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, because we're going to keep bringing the heat. Whether we're in season, whether we're out of it, we've got you covered right here on Tennessee Football Talk.